Hello and welcome. Are we living in a safer world? Let's talk to someone whose business it is to make our world safer and our lives happier, hopefully. Mel Brooks, CEO of G4S in India, a
Hello,
securities
Govind.
solutions company. Mel, tell us, so you've been in India for a while. How do you see the environment in India in the context of what's happening in the rest of the world from a G4S point of view?
Well, from a G4S perspective, obviously India is experiencing some issues with regard to the economy. But I think in recent times we're seeing a very much more positive light, a change in the RBI governor, the rupee beginning to rally. We have an election around the corner. So in my view, whilst it's a challenging market area, actually there are some very positive signs for the economy overall.
Right.
But underpinning the G4S business area, there are some fundamentals that remain unchanged. Fundamentally, India has a very large employee base, prospective employee base, and that doesn't change. It's got a youth dividend, and as a company, G4S continues to grow in the security market.
Right.
Security markets really are still growing across the globe, but in India particularly, we have around about an 18% annual growth, and that's seen to actually
that
move
growth
forward.
is in sales, or revenue, or number of people?
Actually, across revenues, across the actual market itself will grow, and there are a number of reasons behind the growth of India's security markets. So from a G4S perspective, it's a very positive outlook and continues to be a positive outlook as we grow within the country.
Right. So what are the kind of new security threats and issues that organizations are facing or countries are facing, and what are you doing to mitigate those?
Well, indeed, so that's a really good question. First of all, fundamentally, our core business continues to grow, and we keep addressing our core business, which is very much protection of the workplace and the home across India. But we are also now really looking at the protection of women in the community, women in the workforce, and that will be an area that we will be doing a lot of work in the coming year to really work with our current customers and new customers and how we really tailor our services to support those changes.
Can you give us an illustration of how you would do that? Or?
Well, particularly lone working, particularly looking for first responder, providing alarm services, support services. We'll be undoubtedly bringing technology into that offering as well, and we're talking to technology partners as well as fundamental partners with regard to how we train our employees in this environment. So it's an exciting opportunity, unfortunately due to some of the pressures within India at the moment, but we're responding to those, which is good. But our underpinning offerings as well will also move from what is predominantly manned guarding to the induction of more technology.
Right.
Unfortunately, or fortunately, the cost of labour continues to increase. That's projected to do so over time. Our customers require a cost-effective security service. Our services are premium services. And as a consequence, we do not want to in any way to actually undermine the quality of the service we provide, but the induction of technology will undoubtedly help. And the sort of thing we're looking there at is advanced sensing in the workplace, automation of the workplace, the use of cameras, the reduction of manpower where possible, all based around a bound risk.
Right. So let me come back to the women point. And you're saying that this is really in responding to what your customers are telling you.
Yes,
as
indeed.
opposed to you
Yes,
launching
absolutely.
a product or a service in the marketplace.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a common theme with our customers when we speak to them. And we've also been speaking to potential partners that are coming into the marketplace based on those needs.
Right.
So this is a very interesting opportunity.
Right. India is a country where labor is relatively cheaper. How does this technology versus labor equation work in India in your understanding? I mean, are people willing to invest in technology because at the end of the day they might feel it's just more economical to have a person doing a certain job?
Absolutely. I mean, currently the cost of labour is where it is, but it will increase undoubtedly. As the cost of labour increases, the cost of technology decreases. So what would have been an expensive technology offering a few years ago is now actually becoming more affordable.
Right.
So, and it's particularly around automation of entry points, the use of CCTV cameras, then using technology for things like video analytics and behavior analysis, facial recognition, biometrics, a vast area where you can rapidly check and scan people compared to a manual system.
Right. And how do you see the outlook for in India in specific, and maybe in the world in general, in terms of where people are going or what they're thinking about their own security in the coming year?
Yes, I think, as I said, from our perspective, we know there's 7.5 million people employed in the security market. That's a huge amount of people. The market continues to grow, but what we are still seeing as a trend, particularly from the MNCs, are wanting a very high quality security service. You can buy a service at various levels in the marketplace, but we maintain our drive for the highest level of security, and that is a common theme coming through. And it's particularly working in partnership as well in the various market segments. So we are now adapting our training of our personnel to work in various segments. An example might be in the hospitality sector. So we ensure that our employees are well briefed on the use of scanning equipment, the meet and greet, and a very high quality check of people entering a hospitality area.
Right, and you talked about skilling, and you talked about the 7 million plus people working in this sector. Now, that's also one of the biggest challenges: finding the pipeline of good quality and skilled people.
Yes,
so,
indeed.
how are you managing that challenge?
Indeed. So we constantly run a program on resourcing, and we run a program on retention, and taking them in individually. So the resourcing, we have a regular inflow of employees, of people wanting to join us as employees. We are trying to make the role way more attractive, making it a career role, a career in security, providing levels of training to improve skill base and basic competence, and giving them a career structure then to move through the company. But with regard to also finding new recruits in areas where it is more difficult, then we're working with local government bodies, employment bodies, and working in collaboration on employment drives. And that is a very successful way of bringing people into the industry. And as I then said, we work to retain them and give them a career structure and great training.
And that's something that's working, as in people feel that, okay, this can be a career, and they keep...
Yeah, absolutely. And we've found through taking a very progressive step in this area, our levels of retention are far higher, and the people wishing to join the industry are significant. And we now sit, close to 150,000 employees across India. So we are a major employer in this area, and that's across the entire country. In our 130 branches, we still are finding this level of attraction to the industry.
Right, that's a good reason for us to feel safer.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Good, thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.